welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So yesterday saw the release of the latest duel decks. This is the Merfolk versus Goblins duel deck. One in a long line of duel decks now, which has been going on for a number of years. So inside of this pack we have two 60 card decks, 10 tokens, 2 deck boxes, a strategy insert, a magic quick reference card, and 2 spin down life counters. As with all duel decks, these are all reprints from throughout Magic's history, and the 2 lead cards are in foil, and as it says here, there's 4 additional cards that will feature new artwork. So let's open this up, have a look and see what's inside. So if you're not familiar with the duel decks line, they have 2 of these come out a year. And what normally happens is they alternate between a planeswalker themed duel decks and more of like a tribal theme. So we're onto a tribal one here with Merfolk versus Goblins. Let's just unpack this. The first thing I'm going to do is just have a look at the insert. So you can see here we get a bit of a sort of background story going on about the 2 tribes. What should I see? Oh, over here, let me just show you. Just shows the tokens. And oops. What I like here, and this is something they've always done, it gives you a breakdown of the sets that the decks draw from. So you can see here for Merfolk we've got Stronghold, Exodus, Origins, a couple of core sets there, Zendikar, Lorwyn, Tempest again, Eventide, Theros, Apocalypse, so all over Magic. And then you'll notice that some of these have stars against them, and those are the ones where there's new artwork. And you can see in this particular deck, it looks like we've got quite a few. It's difficult to see because some of those are actually asterisks and some of them are TM against them because of trademark. And it looks like there's more. It looks like there's no, hang on. Wow, it's really difficult to see. Oh, hang on, it's on the it's on the other side. There we go. So, Master of Waves, Tidal Courier, Architect's Will, and Lonely Sandbar. This new artwork. And on the Goblin side, again pulling from all over Magic, Gem Palm Incinerator, Goblin Goon, Relentless Assault. Is there another one? Oh yeah, Foreign Instigator, there we go. It's always interesting to see how far they go back with these. Now obviously if these cards go back far enough in Magic's history, then you're going to see a completely different card frame on these as well, from the original. So you know, some of these would have been printed 8th edition, which was when they made the real major change to the card frames. So we're going to see, you know, some cards, old cards in new frames. So here's our 2 spin down counters. So we've got the this sort of one, which is a green with blue mottling in my particular pack, because these I think change, and a black one with some grey mottling there. And let's try and find it. These normally have, I think, a set symbol on them. Oh no, there we go. So although the set comes with its own specific set symbol, which we'll see on the cards, the dice themselves have that sort of generic Magic the Gathering symbol. A couple of deck boxes as well. Well, that's the set logo. So there's our Goblin box and our Merfolk box. You also get the ever-present quick reference guide. So let's open up these. We'll start off with the Merfolk deck. So our lead card, which is our foil, is Master of Waves. It's 3 and a blue for 2/1. Creature, Merfolk, Wizard. Protection from red. Elemental creatures you control get +1/+1. When Master of Waves enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/0 blue elemental creature tokens equal to your devotion to blue. Each blue in the mana costs of your permanents you control counts towards your devotion to blue. And I'm just going to move that around so you can see the foiling there. So first up, Harbinger of Tides. 2 blue, creature, Merfolk, Wizard. It's a 2/2. You may cast Harbinger of Tides as though it had flash. If you pay 2 more to cast it, you may cast it any time you could cast an instant. When Harbinger of the Tides enters the battlefield, you may return target tapped creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Master of the Pearl Trident's in here. 2 blue, 2/2, creature, Merfolk. Other Merfolk creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Island Walk. Tidebinder Mage. 2 blue, 2/2, creature, Merfolk, Wizard. When Tidebinder Mage enters the battlefield, tap target red or green creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Tidebinder Mage. 2 and a blue, creature, Merfolk, Soldier. This is Wake Thrasher. It's a 1/1. Whenever a permanent you control becomes untapped, Wake Thrasher gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Merfolk Sovereign. 1 and 2 blue, creature, Merfolk. Other Merfolk creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap target Merfolk creature can't be blocked this turn, and that's a 2/2. Engulf the Shore. 3 and a blue instant, return to their owner's hands all creatures with toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. Misdirection is in here. 3, 2 blue, instant, you may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay Misdirection's mana cost. Change the target of target spell with a single target. Mind Spring, X and 2 blue, draw X cards. Cold-Eyed Selkie is in here. 1 hybrid green blue. Creature, Merfolk, Rogue with Island Walk. So this creature can't be blocked as long as defending player controls an island. Whenever Cold-Eyed Selkie deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards, and it's a 1/1. And then moving on to the lower rarities. Tidal Warrior. Rootwater Hunter, Scroll Thief, there's a couple of those, Streambed Aquitects, a couple of those, in fact more than a couple, there's 3 of those, Ink Fathom Divers, Merfolk Looters in here. Merfolk Wayfinder. Mero Rigiri, I think that is. Rootwater Hunter. Tidal Warrior. Tidal Courier. A couple of those. And then we've got our basics here. Pretty cool artwork there. And then moving on to our non-basics, so there's a lonely sandbar in here. It's the battlefield tapped, tap, add blue to your mana pool, and you can cycle it for a cost of a single blue, which means discarding the card and drawing a card. A couple of those. There's a Blighted Cataract in here. Tap, add colourless to your mana pool. 5 in a blue, tap, sacrifice Blighted Cataract, draw 2 cards. Architect Will. There's actually a full complement of Architect's Will. I'm trying to think how many times they actually include like a whole play set within within the dual decks. That's actually quite unusual, I think. Normally it's all sort of 1-ofs and 2-ofs. Essence Scatter. A couple of those. Tidal Wave. Claustrophobia's in here. And there's a couple of those. Triton Tactics. Concentrate. And here's our tokens. So these are actually single-sided tokens. So we've got some elemental tokens here. If you remember, the Master of Waves generates elemental tokens, and there's also a wall token. So that's the Merfolk deck, which is mono blue, as you can see. And we'll move on to the Goblin deck. So Warren Instigator, 2 red for a 1/1 creature Goblin Berserker. It's got double strike. Whenever Warren Instigator deals damage to an opponent, you may put a Goblin creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. And again, this being the lead card, is foil. Let's have a look at the rest of the deck. From the top we've got Goblin Diplomats, 1 and a red, creature Goblin 2/1. Each creature attacks this turn if able. Goblin Rabble Master, 2 and a red, 2/2 creature Goblin Warrior. Other Goblin creatures you control attack each turn if able. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token with haste. Whenever Goblin Rabble Master attacks, it gets +1/+0 till end of turn for each other attacking Goblin. Goblin Chieftain's in here, 1 and 2 red for 2/2 haste. It's a creature Goblin with haste. Other Goblin creatures you control get +1/+1 and have haste. Goblin Goon, 3 and a red for a 6/6 creature Goblin Mutant. Goblin Goon can't attack unless you control more creatures than defending player. Goblin Goon can't block unless you control more creatures than attacking player. Goblin Razor Runners, 2 and 2 red for 3/4 creature Goblin Warrior. 1 and a red, sacrifice a land, put a +1/+1 counter on Goblin Razor Runners. At the beginning of your end step, you may have Goblin Razor Runners deal damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to target player. Krenko Mob Boss is in here. 2 and 2 red for 3/3 legendary creature Goblin Warrior. Tap, create X 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens where X is the number of goblins you control. Relentless Assault, 2 and 2 red sorcery. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Brutal Effigies in here. 1 generic mana, artifact for 4. You tap, exile Brittle Effigy, exile target creature. Goblin Charbelcher's in here. 4 generic mana artifact. For 3, tap, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Goblin Charbelcher deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to target creature or player. If the revealed land card was a mountain, Goblin Charbelcher deals double that damage instead. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your library in any order. Foundry Street Denizen is here, so we're moving on to the lower rarity cards now. Battle Squadron, Goblin Tunneler, Boggart Brute, a couple of those, Goblin Glory Chaser, Ember Hauler, Goblin War Driver, a couple of those, Gem Palm Incinerator, Goblin Ringleader, another 2 of, Foundry Street Denizen, and our basics here. So these look like they're going to all be mountains. Pretty cool artwork there. I don't know if you can get that well on camera. It's always nice with the dual decks as well, looking to see what particular artwork that's been chosen. Okay, so the cycling land in this deck is obviously the red one, which is Forgotten Cave. So enters the battlefield tapped, tap, add red to your mana pool, and you cycle this for a single red. And there's a couple of those. We've got Blighted Gorge in here. Tap, add colourless to your mana pool, 4 and a red, tap, sacrifice Blighted Gorge. Blighted Gorge deals 2 damage to target creature or player. And we have 2 of those. Tarfire's in here. Couple of those, got a brute strength, a couple of those. There's Grenko's Command in here, which is generating more goblins, and yeah, not surprisingly we have 3 of those. Ghostfire, a couple of those. Oh, actually, there you go, 3. Goblin Grenades in here, Hordling Outburst, Cleaver Riot. And here's our Goblin tokens. And those were the only tokens being generated by that particular deck. So there we have it. That's our Merfolk versus Goblins dual decks with the foil lead cards of Master of Waves and War on Instigator. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.